Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blogs today. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, rock stars, how y'all doing today? This is Chill Rocky. This is Chill Rocky on this here Tuesday, because this is not the Rocky that we got on Sunday, child. Let me tell you that I have had to have multiple talks with myself in these last couple of days just so I can get my attitude right. Because on Sunday, when the news dropped that Biden was stepping aside, if you will, and was no longer seeking the Democratic confirmation to run for re-election, I was so mad. I was so mad. For many, many reasons, you guys. We've kind of talked about why I would be upset about it. But let me just explain to you why it put me in such a bad headspace. One, you guys, is because the Democrats had been frustrating me for weeks prior, pretty much ever since he had the debate between WhatsApp and Biden didn't go well. The Democrats have gotten on my nerves more and more. I mean, gotten on my nerves to the point where I'm questioning whether or not I am even going to remain a Democrat. Now, I'm not going to become a Republican, but I don't know what to tell you on this Democratic front. So irritating. I'm not going to get all into it right now, but my whole problem with the situation was the Democrats knew that Biden was old since he said he was going to run for re-election. It's not like this is just some news that just came down. Sure, I know that it's already just customary for the sitting president to run for re-election. However, this man ain't got no younger. They already knew what his age was. He been, if you was going to really be going by how he's sounded and looked over these last few years, he's been rickety. Okay, so it's like, why y'all didn't feel like, this needed to be done back when he said that he was going to run for re-election, Yet and still they didn't. They supported him up until the debate, and then it all fell apart. Okay, and they decided that they did not want to have him as the person running. The big donors got involved. Money talks. Okay, bullshit walks. And he was forced out of the position. He was forced out. And while I understand why there were concerns, I just don't understand why this wasn't done ahead of time. Now, you have waited till 3 months before the fucking election and, expecting everybody to get on board with a new candidate, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But you guys know historically that is not something that is ever encouraged or even want to, because 3 months, really, you guys, so frustrating. It's so frustrating because to me, it was like, almost felt like they were handing over the election. Okay. Not to mention the fact that nobody from the Democratic side is even worrying about or talking about the fact that WhatsApp was convicted of all these crimes. Nobody is making any big deal about that. Sexual harassment, rape, and all type of things that have been tied to his name, his character. It's like all these opportunities where you could have made the opponent look really bad. The Democrats have decided to go against their own. And that is just what really frustrated me about it. I was just like, you guys are so fucking stupid. Just so stupid. And it just really upset me, okay? Because you guys know I do not want WhatsApp to end up his ass back up in that office. And it was just feeling like that's what it's gonna be, okay? So a lot of things happened when Biden stepped aside. He did, in his step aside speech, pretty much endorse Kamala, however you ever say the child's name. I'm gonna have to get that name right, I guess. We're gonna be talking about her a lot. But he endorsed the vice president in his step aside speech, and she has willingly and openly stepped into the position. It felt like it was a no-brainer because she's already in place. At least we know her as the vice president. If she was good enough to be on Biden's administration, then she should be able to just step in there and run things the way that she's familiar with him. So we can kind of feel like her policy and his policy would line up. Like, I get all of that, but it was just sort of like, I mean, the elephant in the room. This is a black woman who black people couldn't even agree on. I mean, you could see in my post on Instagram, people couldn't even agree on whether the woman is black or not. Oh, she's Jamaican, she's her Indian, I was like, when you look at the lady, for all intents and purposes, she is black, okay? Now, y'all can split hairs over where she came from, what her mama is, what her daddy is, what part of the country or the world they come from and all. But this woman, when people look at her, okay, you can call her a woman of color, but she's a black woman, okay? I already know you guys gonna be in the comments with that. It don't even matter, okay? It does not even matter in the grand scheme of things right now, but I'm telling you, when the nation looks at her, they look at her as a black woman. Listen, I have been in this nation, in this country, for 53 and a half years now, and I will say, I won't say whether or not I feel like the nation is ready to have a black female president or a black woman president, because I know some of you guys hate that word female, child, but I won't say that the world is not ready. However, in the past, that's all we can go by, is what has happened in the past. They weren't even ready for a white woman to be the president of the United States. So it's very difficult for me to even trust, okay, the people of these here United States to come together enough to elect this woman in. Yet and still, that is exactly what the Democratic Party is asking us to do. I don't even know if I would feel so nervous about this had this happened back when people were all announcing whether or not they was going to be running for presidency. Okay? Because then if Kamala had decided, if Biden had said he wasn't going to run and she said she was going to run, I'm all in. I'm all in. Okay? That gives you enough time to campaign, to go around, to get to know people. And she has been traveling and doing all of those things, but in the capacity of vice president. It's just hard for me to really trust that the people of the United States are going to elect this black woman in. I'm just going to be as real as I can be. I know all about hope and everybody keep the faith, Roxanne, and do this and do that. And I am definitely going to support her. I am definitely going to vote for her, because the alternate is something that is unthinkable for me. Okay, unfathomable. So I am definitely going to support Kamala Harris. However, okay, the reality is that this is still America, and I don't feel like being pissed off again like I was when Hillary Clinton didn't win. Okay, because I felt like we had that one in the bag, y'all. I felt like she had it in the bag. And yes, I know she won the popular vote, but who got the electoral votes? Okay, we can't even go by. People was telling me, but Hillary won the popular vote. Who was in the fucking office? That's what I'm saying. Who was in the office? Okay, I don't care about popular votes if it's not going to put the person that we want in the office in the office. So it's just, I am very nervous about this whole situation. Yes, I understand that the black people have activated and You know, of course, here we go again. Black women are being called upon to save the day, as we always are expected to do, even though we are the lowest of the totem pole. I'm telling you, I just have like this feeling where I'm just like, you know, I really want this woman to win, okay? Because I want people to understand how important it is that black women be held as the saviors that they are, all right? But it also is a part of me where I'm just like, fuck you guys. Why should we always be the ones that come in there and say the day when we have absolutely no respect? Okay, but you can't be that way in this situation. I mean, you can be that way after we get the job done. So I'm just going to hold on to that fussing until another day. But you guys, I'm very concerned. I'm worried. I just really... And that's the reason why I did not do a Top of the Blogs extra, because I'm telling you, I was so mad on Sunday that I would have offended a lot of people. I would have said some things that I probably would have regretted. I would have been down in them comments. Honey, I was ready to argue folks down. And it was something that that's not something that I normally do. So I knew, at least I know this much about myself now, that Roxanne, when you are in that kind of mood, you do not need to be on nobody's camera. Okay, because you're gonna lose followers. So what I decided to do was just wait before I got on this camera, try to have a talk with myself, calm my emotional side down, and be my rational self that people expect me to be. And so that is what you are getting today, okay? Or more rational than I would have been on Sunday. I'm still very upset about it, you know, and I know the Democrats are really trying to, it's like they had a group text or a group call. It was just like, okay, everybody just be very positive and say how much Biden is the most, you know, consequential and the most successful president in many decades, and let's always big up Biden when we stabbed that man in the back and kicked him out. Okay, people were like, why is he stepping aside? He said he wouldn't do it. How is it that this man is supposed to run under a ticket when nobody is supporting him? None of the people that matter, okay? These people that give him big money and very, very influential, if they're not supporting him, he's fighting a losing battle. He needed to, and they were really coming after him, talking about his age and how he sounded and all this. That's why when I saw Van, this commentary is all over the place, you guys, and I realize it, okay? Because it's just all my thoughts right now. But when I'm telling you, when Van was up there crying about Biden, I'm so sick of him crying. I'm so sick of him crying, because you are part of the media that tore that man apart immediately after that CNN debate. Immediately. Oh, this was terrible for him. This was really bad. He looked really bad. And it was just sort of like, you really? So nobody ever talks about the fact that YSAP supposedly, sexually assaulted all these people and did all of these things. You guys are just really going to harp on the fact that Biden has a stuttering problem, and his voice was gone, and it was just so frustrating, you guys. So frustrating. All that to say, I'm definitely in with Kamala Harris, because there's no alternative. Like, I have to be all in, because I know that I don't want YSAP to be the president again. Okay, and realistically, this is going to be his last chance of actually getting into that office, because quiet as it's kept, you look at YSAP when he talked, that nigga looked like he ain't quite got it all together up there too. We was talking about cognitive skills. Look at him at the RNC the other day. Oh, he said he wrote this speech and it was going to bring the nation together, and yeah, I guess he tried to say it for about 10 minutes, and then after that, another hour and a half of him just talking his regular rhetoric, negative, attacking the Biden administration. He is crazy. Okay, he is a lunatic, and it's funny that they all want they all over Biden, but y'all need to be making sure that YSAP got all of his faculties together as well. Now, he ain't never quite been as solid in the he ain't never been like a what is the word, I can't even think of the word that I'm trying to say, but he ain't never been a scholar, okay? He ain't never been one of those, oh, everything in the history of the world, you know, I did this and I did. Anyway, let me just try to collect my thoughts here. So now we have Kamala Harris, who just got all the delegates that she needed to secure the spot, you know, as the Democratic nominee. Nobody has come up against her. Okay, and I don't think anybody will, because the Democrats cannot afford to have any more dissension. Everybody needs to be on the fucking page now. Same page now. Okay, now that you guys got Biden out, we cannot have another time where it's two Democrats going against each other. So I doubt that anybody else is going to come up and say that they want to run. Okay. And now we are just waiting to see who is going to be her vice president, you know, the person who is going to run on the ticket with her. My suggestion would be a very straight, a very white, a very Christian, a very married, a very well-placed and well-liked white man out there, because, you know, I've been seeing little whisperings of her of them suggesting a couple of other black folks. And while I would love to see the White House being run by not only a black president, but a black president and vice president, I just, you know, now I think that that's doing a lot right now. Okay. I think that's doing a lot right now. So let's just talk about some of the people that she possibly is going to consider as her vice president. Where's my glasses, child? Because I printed this too little. Hold on one second. How y'all doing? Instant intellect. Okay, so yeah, so Biden said that, you know what, she's the best man for the job, that, you know, everybody needed to embrace her, you know, that it was hard for everybody to hear the fact that he was stepping aside. I mean, I was like, you mean pushed out? Okay, Biden is going to do what's best for the country, what's best for the party, but they did that man wrong, child. Anyway, and while Biden is over there, you know, saying what's best for the country and endorsing her, YSAP jumps on internet and saying what he was the worst president in the history of the presidents of the United States. I was like, oh, you mean that's even worse than Obama? I thought you said that President Obama was the worst president. Now, no, Biden has done it. Okay. But he said that the man didn't have the mental capacity to serve as president. And I was just like, I mean, pot, meat, kettle, because anyway, child. Who's gonna be the running mate? That's what we gonna talk about right now. Somebody, like I said, clean record, white man, Protestant Christian, you know, straightest and narrowest of the bunch. All right. Some of the names that have come across, I've seen Josh Shapiro, who's the governor of Pennsylvania. He has high approval ratings across like party lines. They say that he works across party lines. People like him. He's easygoing and whatnot. So we have Andy Beshear, who's the governor of Kentucky. Okay, now you guys know Kentucky is a deep red state. However, he as a Democrat had won as the governor. So there's that. He protects reproductive rights and supports public education. We have Mark Kelly, who's the Arizona senator, who was also the astronaut. And remember his wife, Gabby, she was a House representative or House congresswoman, I think. And she was shot in that mass shooting out there in Arizona. Okay, her husband, he is the senator in Arizona, and he's being considered. Then we have Roy Cooper, who is the North Carolina governor. And apparently the vice president has been there many, many times trying to like strengthen up, you know, support in that state. We have J.B. Pritzker, who is the Illinois governor. They say that he is a billionaire businessman. He's the heir to the Hyatt hotels and that whole chain. Gavin Newsom, okay, who is the governor in California. We know that she has huge ties to California. She was the attorney general in California. She was a prosecutor, DA in California. So she, and Gavin Newsom is like a staunch supporter of the Biden administration. And so he is also the person, but they say that Newsom, they say that he probably will be running for president in 2028, but this might have pushed him up closer, to the rungs. So, those are the names. Pete Buttigieg, how you say that man's name? Buttigieg? Is that you say it? Anyway, he's also on the list. I think he's a transportation, over the Transportation Administration or something like that. He's also on the list. They say that, it's well known that he also wants to run for presidency. So, we could kind of expect to hear from him in 2028. But anyway, those are some of the names that are on the list that she could be choosing from. I saw other folks, but those are the main names that I think people are expecting maybe she will choose from there. And all this has to be done because we got to be knowing what's what by the time we get to this Democratic convention, which is next month. So, you guys, I'm real frustrated about it. I am real frustrated about it. Now, I have seen the support just come out of the woodwork. I did see the record-breaking, raised over $100 million. And we know that money wins elections, okay? People will tell you that is votes and everything, but it is money. The money has to put you out there to ad campaigns, all this grassroots, feet on the ground, all that has to be paid for. And the more money that you have, the more that you can have out there, which is more people that is talking to other folks about voting and all of that. Okay. So she has a lot of money. They say that she gets the war chest from Biden, and that carries over. They're expecting there to be some lawsuits against that, but they're not worried about that right now. But on top of that, we have the Win with Black Women call on Zoom Sunday night. They raised over $1 million there. They had Win with Black Men call on Zoom last night. They raised over $1 million there just in a matter of minutes, okay, or however long they were on that Zoom call. And there are a lot of people that are activating. There are a lot of people that are in support, and these are people that mean and matter, So I'm not saying that it's not it's just, you guys. I'm gonna need you guys. You guys are gonna have to be the ones that not motivate me, but just have to keep confirming and keeping me to that point because I'm telling you, that Hillary Clinton situation about knocked the wind out of me, child. I just could not believe that they had put Weissap in that office, and that is what disappointed me and made me not trust these here United States when it comes to something like this. Okay, and so I really would love to see her in that place. I would love to see her in it, but I am not convinced. I'm just not convinced that the people that we need to support will do so. Now, I have been seeing a lot of people are feeling, it does have that feel of that electricity that was in the air when Barack Obama was running. You had to have been there. It was definitely a time, right? But it was so much hope in the air, and I can feel little sparks of that in the air. I know that that's what we want it to be. So I'm just going to hope that that will continue on. But, the realistic part of me, the pessimistic Capricorn in me just makes me feel like, I don't feel like getting myself all excited and hyped up over something that is going to just be crap in the end. Just bullshit in the end, you guys. I just don't feel like it. I ain't got it in me. What I did with my... I sure hope you guys can hear me, because I've been talking this whole time and it just said that it was picking up my Bluetooth. I don't even know where it is. Anyway. So yeah, so now Kamala is in campaigning for presidency full swing. Okay, so she's going to Wisconsin today. She's going to be in Milwaukee for a rally. Tammy, are you going to be there? And you know, now she's going to not only be handling her duties as vice president, but she's also running. So, you know, I'd imagine that her schedule has become very, very full. Okay. It is great to see her up there, to see you know, just the thought of possibility of a black woman. Let me just say black woman, you guys, please. Let me just say that, and you guys don't be in my comments telling me what she is and is not. Okay? Just for this conversation today. Okay? Would you feel better if I say woman of color? Because now I do see, when I watch, when I've been seeing different people talking about it, now they're saying, oh, she is of Southeastern Asian descent. Okay? It used to be black folks. Now we got other folks that is trying to, you know, not trying. I mean, she is partially Indian. Her mother is from India. Okay? So, you know, just as much as she claims one side, she should be able to claim the other. So, I mean, I get it, you guys. But when we look at the lady, her and her sister, when you look at them, they look like black women. Okay, and that's what folks see when they look at her. That's all I'm concerned about right now. Not what people is, you know, how people want to be addressed or all that. But that being said, it does feel good to see the idea of there being a black woman in place as the president of the United States. You know, just, I think that is a wonderful thing for black girls, young, to see. And not necessarily just black girls, but especially black girls, okay? But many other races and nationalities will be able to see that it is not impossible, okay? And it has to be, at some point, there has to be a point where the damn, the glass ceiling is shattered, okay? So why can't it be now? Why can't it be on Kamala's time, you know? It's just, child, my thoughts are so many millions of different places that I don't know what to make of it. I just don't know what to make of it. I'm just tired. I'm just worried that we are trying to do something that has never been done, and we trying to do it in 3 months. Now, you know what? Stranger things have happened. I'm not saying it's impossible. But right now, if I was to go by what has happened in the past, I would say it's real close to impossible. Okay, but I'm telling you, I am going to support. I'm going to do everything that I need to do to get that lady in office. Because not only the fact that she's a black woman, but because I believe that she is the person for the job. I believe anybody is the person for the job if you are going against YSAP. YSAP does not need to be in that office. He just does not need to. Have you guys read over the ghetto apartment number 2025? Have you read it over? That alone should spark fear in you and should get you to understand that person is not the one that should be in that chair. Okay? That's it. Oh, child. I'm telling you, I ain't been in a good mood ever since Sunday. My mood has been jacked up, and then I got one of my coworkers is an avid Trumpster, far right wing conservative person, and he's black. Okay, so just imagine, we used to get in so many arguments back when Barack Obama was running for presidency. I mean, I'm talking about yelling and screaming for hours in my office, okay? And that everybody would be like, oh my God, not you guys again today. I mean, we would do that kind of thing. So I don't even have the energy to go back and forth with him now. So I've been trying to avoid him, trying not to get in any kind of conversations or anything, because I'm just so irritated about the whole thing. And he might get cussed the fuck out Well, we've cussed each other out quite often. Actually, he's never cussed me out, but I probably have said some things to him. But child, I'm just like, I just, y'all, I don't know. I need y'all prayers. I need y'all to help me through this one, because America has always been America, and I can't see it any other way. But there's no time like the present, okay, to grow and to accept and to include and to trust and all. There's no time like the present. So I'm getting on board, you guys, but it's taking me some time. Like, I can't flip it around in 2 days, y'all. Okay. Didn't I just tell y'all last week that I'm full of ironies and hypocrisies, and so I might feel one way one day and I might feel a different way the next day? Okay, well, yeah, I just need you guys to help me through this, because I am so frustrated and irritated, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do my job. But we're gonna have a for real conversation about the Democrats, especially if this lady don't make it into office in November. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna have a conversation, but I'm gonna hold my tongue. I'm gonna hold my tongue till the end. Okay? Y'all tell me how you feel about that. Y'all feeling hopeful? Do you guys trust that you can vote for Kamala? Okay, because I've heard plenty of black people, men and women, that don't feel like, a black woman can do the job. And when you ask them why don't they feel that way, they can't even give you any real reason other than she's a black woman. She's black and she's a woman. Like, really? You want somebody to run the free world, and go and talk to all these different foreign countries that don't have respect for women, and then she's supposed to be she's supposed to be the leader of that? Like, no, like, people can't even fathom that. So, child, it's so much. It is so much. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that, because it's taking up all my damn lunch, and I wasn't supposed to be out here talking that long. Y'all let me know what you think about it, okay? Harris 2024. I'm in. Are you? Y'all let me know. All right, you guys, this story is so heartbreaking and upsetting. This Sonia Massie, who was murdered. I'm talking about flat out murdered by the sheriffs there in, now where were we? Sangamon County. Where is that though? Was it in Illinois? It may have been Illinois, but you guys don't quote me. I'm sorry, I didn't write that down. I just wrote down the county, but I didn't say what city and state this was in. But anyway, Sonia Massie. So she's a black woman in her home, and she called 911 because she believed that somebody was prowling around her home. Okay, she felt unsafe, thought somebody might be out there, so they called the police. The sheriffs came, Sheriff Sean Grayson and another one from Sangamon County. They came out and they checked around her property, just made sure that everything was okay out there. And then after they checked and they didn't find any prowlers, they went inside of her home and they were talking to her, just going to check on her, make sure that she was okay and let her know that nobody was out there. Well, anyway, I don't know what could have happened, but when they walked into the place, apparently she was boiling water, okay? And the police was like, the Sheriff Grayson was like, turn that off, because the video was circulating because they had on body cameras. So they asked, the guy asked her, the sheriff asked her to turn it off because he didn't want her to catch anything on fire. I'm just like, why would something that's boiling be catching on fire anyway? Okay? Makes no sense. But anyway, it was like he was trying to pick at her or do something. So as she picks up the pot, okay, at least from what I saw, when she picked up the pot and was going towards like the sink, and he was like, what are you doing with that pot? And then she kept on saying, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Kind of saying it like jokingly, kind of like, how sometimes when people say like that, they be like, oh, you crazy, but they ain't gonna say nothing like, okay, I rebuke you. Anyway, I guess her saying that, he was like, you know what, I swear to God, I will fucking shoot you in your face. If you come near me with that boiling water. The lady was walking to the sink. Okay. Next thing you know, he's pulled his gun out at her. And she finally apologized, like, damn, I'm sorry. And I don't know what happened in the confusion, but next thing you know, you hear 3 shots ring out, and he done shot the lady in her face like he just said that he would do, and shot her a couple of other times, apparently. When this woman called the sheriffs, called the police to come help her, how does she end up dead? How does this lady end up dead? This man, and then after he shoots her, apparently he turns to the other sheriff that was at the door. See, one was more inside of the apartment or the house. I'm not sure if it was a house or apartment, but one was more inside. The Grayson guy was more inside than the other guy. But he was just like, I'm not going to let nobody come at me with no boiling hot water. Okay. Kind of justifying it. Did you really shoot this woman? Why you felt in danger? I never will understand why police feel in danger when they clearly have the upper hand. Now, you might have got burned, but you ain't gonna die from somebody throwing some water on you. Not saying that this woman was even planning on throwing water on him, because it's clear she wasn't, okay? But you have a lethal weapon. You can shoot this person, okay? And you just actually shot and killed this woman over the threat of her possibly throwing some water on you? Are you really serious? Okay? What happened to detaining somebody, trying to control them, but de-escalating so you don't have to pull your gun, but maybe you could pull your stun gun and, whatever you got to do there? That would have kept everybody alive in this situation. Yet, no, this man automatically jumped to his gun, pulled it out, and shot this lady. And she called them to help her. That motherfucker is a murderer. He needs to be jailed. He has been fired. He has been charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and official misconduct. He's being held at the Menard County Detention Facility without bond. Okay? And he faces life in prison if he is convicted of murder. I don't know what his defense could be. That motherfucker needs to go to jail for the rest of his life. When you saw that video, I just was like, what just happened here? This man it was like almost like he wanted to get mad over something. So he was like, yeah, you didn't come near me with that boiling water. This lady ain't even, he was far away from her. It was no threat or anything like that. I'm just like, It's so many people that should not be authority. They should not be police, and they should not be sheriffs, and they should not be marshals and all this, because that was a clear indication that he was taking advantage of his position. And you just shot and killed this woman in blood cold, killed that woman. Oh my God, I'm telling you, that video also had me irritated when I saw that yesterday. The video had then got so big that even President Biden spoke on it. That sheriff needs to go under the jail. Child, I can't. Let me move on to the next story, child, because again, this has been taken. Actually, this next story is going to be the last. So Friday, there was a global technology outage that threw everything that, pretty much all the computer programs that work with Microsoft, okay, which is a huge, I'm sure that Microsoft has much software that is in businesses all over the world right now. So when you have something like that crash, then it throws off. That's one of the bad things about us being now a fully computerized system here, is that when it's not fail proof, and even though they have all these different restrictions in place and different things to protect it, that's why if you're in school right now, you need to be in school for like cybersecurity, computer engineering, all that kind of thing. That's where you need to be, because that is the future of this world, obviously. That's what we are in right now, and it's just going to continue on. But anyway, and this is me not knowing much about it. This is just me reading up on it. So, there's many of you guys who are much more well versed in this. DeCarcy, I probably should have reached out to you and asked you a few things about this. But it is what it is. Anyway, because of this meltdown or this outage that we had, now they want to make it clear that it was not a hacking. There was not somebody that was responsible for this. They're saying that it was just a, well, the way that it was explained to me, well, let me read what I got here. There's a cybersecurity firm called CrowdStrike, and they provide software to many companies through cloud-based security software. They protect 538 of the 1,000 Fortune, big Fortune companies. So the company is made to block hackers and malware, but they also investigate major breaches. And they have all these systems in place to make sure that these huge businesses and things that run on those programs aren't able to just be susceptible to malware and hackers and things like that. Okay. So they protect, but they also investigate. For instance, they investigated the Russian hack on the DNC servers. You remember when all that had came out and the Hillary's emails was leaked and all that? Okay, they did the investigation on that. And they also had something to do with even WhatsApp's newest case, one of his cases where they investigated something where they had to do with computers and blah, 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 blah. CrowdStrike is a huge company, very successful, been around since 2011. They say it's worth like $83 billion. So it's a big, that's what I'm telling you, that's where you need to go if you're trying to figure out what your future career is going to be and you about to go to college. But they said what they were doing is they were updating their Falcon software, and it caused a malfunction that disabled the systems and their widely used pieces of software all over the world. This software is supposed to protect against crashes and disruptions, but there was some glitch in the update, and Falcon went haywire, and then that threw everything off. Okay, and people are still trying to get their business systems back on track. Those at my office, we all take our laptops home because we work partially from home. But those who had left their laptops plugged in at the office and to the network, all of them had that blue screen of death, okay, and have to work with IT to get it straight. I didn't have any of those problems because I had taken my laptop home. But yeah, there's still a lot of places that are still trying to get their business back up and running. I don't even have to tell you about the airlines. I mean, the airlines, it's so many things that needs to happen at the airlines. First of all, the airlines need to stop overselling their tickets, okay? Because when you oversell these flights, and sometimes they will oversell by the tens, okay? They'll keep overselling these flights. And then when something like this happens, it makes it even worse because now you've got, not only do you have all these flights that now you've got to try to fix, but you done already oversold the flights in the future, which means that you probably ain't going to have all these extra seats nowhere. And then you got to be trying to figure out how you're going to get these people somewhere. I mean, you've been hearing about people been in place in the airports since this happened. When we found out about it, what day was that? Friday? These people still in the airport, still can't get home. My mother-in-law and some of Mister's family had went on a cruise, and they were stuck in Houston for 2 days and ended up having to rent some cars and drive back up to Utah. And my mother-in-law has health issues. She don't need to be on no damn road for no 20 fucking hours. But the airlines, I mean, I get it. The airlines can only do what they can do, and it's not their fault that this happened. However, I also feel like the airlines don't help themselves to make things better because, like I said, they oversell flights, and it's a mess. So yeah, that's what's happening there, child. You guys, I am such a bad mood. I am not in a good mood today. Can you tell? I'm still reeling from this whole situation with the election coming up. I haven't even talked to my father, child. I have not even called him because I already know that's going to be an hour conversation. I'm going to have to call him when I'm driving home from work so he can let it all out because I know he got a lot to say. But yeah, you guys, I guess that's going to be it. I'm going to get on off of here. Y'all leave your feelings about everything I talked about This was pretty much of a bummer type of video today, huh, you guys? Sometimes that's just how it be. Come on, uplift your girl. I need some positive. I need some, y'all just help me out. Y'all help your girl out. Anyway, let me get on. All right, you guys, that is it. I'm about to run into Panda Express and get me some Chinese food and take it on back to work. Yes, I am that employee that spends her whole lunch break doing a video and then taking her food back to the office and eating at her desk. That's me. We do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.